Now, the mid to late 90s was an odd time for PC games. We had the exciting world of CD-ROM, which could have given us all kinds of wonderful things, but instead mostly got us interactive movies. Interactive movies which basically had FMV with C-list actors, desperate to basically get a paycheck, and very, very mediocre point-and-click games to go along with them. However, there are a few exceptions to this, where you get proper A-list actors in a fairly decent game. And that brings us to one of my favourites, the Black Dahlia, or just Black Dahlia. Black Dahlia is an interactive movie and a sort of point-and-click adventure game. It was released on February 25th, 1998 by Take-Two Interactive. Black Dahlia was the last of the three developed Take-Two full-motion video adventure games they did. They did a whole series of these things. There was Hell, a cyberpunk adventure, or a cyberpunk thriller, I believe. And then there was Ripper. Ripper's quite good because it actually has Christopher Walken in it. So they got a proper A-list star. And yep, this one had an A-list star as well. In fact, it had two of them. You had Dennis Hopper of Easy Rider and Apocalypse Now fame and many, many others.
If Hitler were to get his hands on the gem, who knows what kind of suffering the world would see.
But you also had Terry Garr, who was in amazing films like Dumb and Dumber and Head, the Monkeys movie. And yeah, dozens and dozens of other films. And yeah, really, really worth checking out her back catalogue of movies, as she's very, very prolific. I picked this big box version up a long, long time ago. I believe it was from a thrift store, just out of nowhere, just sitting on the shelf, and I saw it there and saw Dennis Hopper, and I saw 8 discs extravaganza and thought, yeah, most definitely something that I'd like to get my hands on. Now, I love the font and I love the cover art to this. Just the face and the shoulder, but being inverted, so it's a very odd angle. And if you know anything about the Black Dahlia case, you'll know exactly what has happened here. Yes, a rather grisly murder. Now, one of the first things I notice is PC CD-ROM, the curse of point-and-click adventures all over, and Dennis Hopper. Right, let's take a look at the box and see what we got. Starting with the bottom, we have got our lovely stats. We have got minimum recommendation, Windows 95, Pentium 90, 16 megabytes of RAM. God, imagine that, 16 megabytes. And 85 megabytes of hard drive space. The movies all run off the CD-ROMs, which is why there's 8 of them. So yeah, it doesn't take up your hard drive space. It sits there, and you need a 4 times speed CD-ROM to actually get this thing to run properly. And yep, on the side here we have got the blurb. So we've got Black Dahlia, we've got Dennis Hopper, we've got Terry Garr, and we've got some bloke called Darren Elker. Never heard of Darren Elker. I'm sure he's fantastic though. I love the Hollywood styling there. On the other side, you've got a picture of Dennis Hopper at the bottom, and you've got some quotes from notable publications of the time, such as PC Gamer, who said,
Black Dahlia takes place in the 1940s and the setting and atmosphere are appropriately rich. Additional touches add a suitable ambience and help draw the player more deeply into the game world. PC Gamer Magazine, 1998.
And there's a man Dennis at the bottom. Now, going further on here, we've got some lovely screenshots and a bit of blurb. November 1941. As America braces herself for World War, a vicious serial killer stalks the nation's industrial heartland. Known as the Torso Killer, this cunning psychopath... November 1941. As America braces herself for World War, a vicious serial killer stalks the nation's industrial heartland. Known as the Torso Killer, this cunning psychopath ritualistically dismembers his victims with chilling precision. Could it be these brutal murders are but one thread of a vast, ancient tapestry of supernatural intrigue? From the streets of Cleveland to war-torn Europe to a Los Angeles hush with victory, Black Dahlia leads the player through an eerie landscape of death, deceit, and occult destiny to unravel a time-lost mystery. As Jim Parsons, No, not the one from the Big Bang Theory.
I'm Jim Pearson from the COI.
Rookie agent of the US Intelligence Service, you must break through the veils of deadly illusion in a desperate attempt to prevent humanity's greatest nightmare from becoming an unspeakable reality. Well, doesn't that sound like fun, kids? I really love the blurbs in the back here, especially a marketing department desperately trying to get their heads around a new technology, and you have these wonderful pieces of hyperbole about what you're going to get from this game. A superb storyline inspired by true events. Well, Elizabeth Short got murdered and cut in half and dumped on someone's lawn in Cleveland, but other than that, this is pretty much a complete work of fiction. A stunningly rendered, convincingly real 3D dimensional game world that includes 70 locations on 2 different continents. Or basically a bunch of actors hamming it up in front of a green screen pretending that they're in London and or Colorado. But hey, let's move on and see what else we got here. That is Terry Garr. And we've got some lovely touched up rendered pictures here which look nothing like this when you play the actual game. But yeah, kind of an Indiana Jones rip-off there. Looks very Seventh Guest actually. I like the Art Deco. And look, there is Dennis Hopper in basically his pyjamas, and he'll be sitting in a chair talking to you the entire time because basically, yeah, he didn't do much work. Yep, take 2. And a game basically based on a serial killer who cuts people in twain is apparently 11 plus. Absolutely fine. Let your tweens have a play on this game. But yeah, the design on this is beautiful with all the blues and the blacks and the frames around the pictures. And I love that. You don't see art of this quality in an adventure game every day. No citation. Just, you don't see art of this quality in a game every day. I imagine that's take 2. Right, take off the slipcase and let's have a quick look at the black box inside. It's just a PC game box, so not particularly interesting. And there's the beautiful manual. I love the way the art is displayed wonderfully on the front, only ruined by Dennis Hopper being scrawled across her forehead. And we've got the exciting discs. We've got Dennis Hopper there. And we've got Terry Garr there. And Dennis Hopper again. And Dennis Hopper in the background with another picture of something else. And Dennis Hopper again. Almost as if Terry Garr is playing second fiddle to Dennis Hopper being creepily in the background of all the other pictures. Yeah, I'm spotting a theme here. And the last disc, there's Dennis Hopper. Lovely. Oh, and some other bloke. And Terry again. But yeah, pop those back in the box. And let's have a look at that lovely manual. Is it in full colour? I can't remember. I haven't looked at this manual in years. No, not in full colour, but it's got some of the ritualistic pictures in the background and a few bits and pieces. And yes, your guide to what the cursors do. Back in point-and-click adventure times, yeah, cursors basically changed every time you put them over different things, and you had dozens and dozens of different cursors that meant different things, and you could never remember what they were. And lots of menus and a picture of a gun. How exciting. And yeah, just basically how you play the game. Games were so stupidly obtuse and complicated back then that, yeah, every single thing had to be explained in a very large A3, A4 pamphlet manual. And yeah, more satanic stuff in the backgrounds and pictures of phones. And is there a notes section? Kind of. I'll take that as a notes section. That'll do. And there we are. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Getting your gameplay hints. Oh, look, it's got a hint hotline. I love a hint hotline. And the wonderful Take-Two Interactive. They were up and down, I tell you. So yeah, that is Black Dahlia. A lovely game set in the 1950s. But yeah, not exactly remembered fondly, this one. But yeah, I enjoy it. I like Dennis Hopper, and I love big box PC games. Oh yeah, and for some reason I got 2 of these. God knows why. Thanks for watching.